Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us again today for our next session in our summer webinar series. Just a couple quick reminders that you have your Q&A section there, so feel free to jump in there and ask any questions as it relates to either topics we're discussing here or just other questions that maybe you had. Also, just right now, going to pop down into your chat window. There's a link that I just put in there, a place where you can share with others if you want them to be able to come and join these sessions. There's a couple still remaining left besides the one today, so you can share that around with others. Feel free to grab that link. And then also just a reminder, if you are interested in seeing this recording later or want to see a recording of other webinars and training with things that we've done, if you come up into your software and come to your Help Online Learning Center, you'll find there on one of those website, in the training video sections, there's a spot for our training webinars. So any of the recent training webinars that we've done, we have a playlist there and you can access all of those from that location as well. All right, so we'll jump in and get started here. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at the concept of pack report tags. And this may be something that you've heard of, maybe something that you maybe just didn't even know that even existed. But we're going to talk a little bit about how you can leverage those to get better to the types of reporting that you're trying to accomplish and how materials are spread out throughout your list. So in order to show you what pack tags can be used for, we kind of have to back up a couple steps and just talk about what they're trying to automate. Because ultimately, what the purpose of report pack tags or pack report tags is the ability to automate moving certain materials from one list to another. So before we get to the automated portion, let's go to the manual portion of what we might be trying to accomplish. So I'm going to come up here to the main wall pack here just to demonstrate a use for this. Let's say that we have in our wall materials that we have, like in our 6-inch exterior walls, if I open up this wall assembly, we've got some primary sheathing. It happens to be zip system in this case. And if for some reason you wanted to ship that sheathing for this wall assembly in a different pack other than the main wall, like maybe you have a sheathing pack that you want to ship it into. So I'm going to come here and I'm actually going to just add a pack, a main wall pack, and I'm going to rename it as my sheathing pack. So I'll add that in here. And let's say that I wanted to ship all of my sheathing together in one pack instead of it being spread across several different wall packs. So I'm going to come here to my main wall again, and here's my zip system. I can right click on an item here that's in this wall assembly, and I can choose to report in a pack that's different than its default one. Of course, it defaults to main wall since that's where it's at, but I can change this to be sheathing pack. And so now if I run the report, just take Control P and open that up, if I come down here, I'm going to find that in that sheathing pack, there's that zip system that's now being shipped over there. Same material, just different location in the material list, even though the root assembly or the assembly from which it's coming from is actually located here in the main wall. All the rest of the materials for that main wall assembly, this 6-inch exterior, will still report in the main wall pack. So that's the concept here of what you might want to be able to do. Other reasons that you might want to do this would be, besides a wall assembly, another case might be kits, and we'll get more into that in a minute. But that's the manual method. So now the question that follows is, it's like, I don't want to have to do that on every single wall assembly. I don't want to have to go, to all 25 wall assemblies throughout the job and do a right click, report in pack, to sheathing in order to get all of my sheathing actually over there. So how do we automate that? So I'm going to go ahead and set this back to my main wall just as the default. And I'm going to come over here to the profile tab. And so this is where we can start to leverage the idea of report tags. So continuing with exactly that same example of I want a part of my wall assembly to report somewhere else. I'm going to come over here to my wall assembly. And here is my 6-inch exterior wall. So this is the profile version or the profiled template for that wall assembly. I'm going to click the edit button, and very similar to what I did before, I can come here to my primary sheathing in the wall assembly, right click in that same location, and I can choose to select a report tag, pack report tag. In this case, the one I want to use isn't here, so I'm going to create one. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to call this wall sheathing. Click OK. And so now I have a little R indicating that's going to report somewhere else. In this case, it has the wall sheathing report tag in it. Click OK. And now that setting, as with nearly every setting in a wall assembly, a profile wall assembly template, if I make the change here, it's not affecting the existing wall assemblies that are out there. So if I was to come back over here to the main wall pack, I'm not getting that behavior in this existing wall assembly. So this would be something obviously that you'd want to set up in your profile ahead of time before you start a project. But I'm going to come here now, and I'm going to add an application. I'm going to get another 6-inch exterior wall. I'll add a fresh one in here, and I'll add some length to it, just so we have some material to report on. Expand it, and now, let's see here. What? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to take a quick look here. And the reason, yeah, okay, so this is a good lead into the conversation here. So I'm going to come down here to the main wall pack, and here in my primary sheathing, if I right click here, you can see that the report and pack tagged wall sheathing. And right now there is no pack that is tagged as wall sheathing, and so this is why it's still actually just reporting in this main wall area. So how is it that the software is going to think about how do I put that item or that material into that pack? So there's 2 levels to this. The first is actually leveraging truly tags. So I have something that's called the sheathing pack right here, and I can choose to give this a tag. So I'm going to come here to report tags, and notice one of the tags that's offered to me is wall sheathing, since that's one of the tags that's been created in the profile, the one we just created. And I can choose to tag this as wall sheathing. So even though the pack name is something else, it's sheathing pack, or I could call it house sheathing pack, or whatever, even though the name is something else, it has been tagged as wall sheathing. And so now when I come back and take a look at the main wall, there you can see the R, it's reporting into the sheathing pack. And the reason for that, it's looking for that wall sheathing pack tag. So that's first of all, when it goes as far as how this automated report tag works, if I tag something in the profile like we did over here on this wall assembly, the 6-inch exterior wall, when I go to use it, the first thing it's going to look for is there any pack that has been tagged with that tag? So in this case, the sheathing pack was tagged with this wall sheathing tag. Now, if I uncheck this box, now there's no longer anything marked as wall sheathing. And if I just come back to the main wall, you can see it's no longer reporting anywhere. However, one other way to leverage this would be to right click and rename the pack. I'm going to call this wall sheathing. And so I actually haven't named or haven't tagged this, but the fallback behavior for pack report tags is that if it doesn't find a pack that's been tagged that way, it will then actually go through and look at all of the pack names and see if it finds an exact match in order to report that into. So in this case, once again, since I've actually named a pack specifically that of wall sheathing, it now says, okay, I'll report that over into that wall sheathing pack. No, it's worth noting that if you have multiple packs that are named wall sheathing, we can't stop you, or we're not going to stop you from having 3 or 4 different packs called wall sheathing. But at that point, it's not going to be, it's not going to be smart to know which one to report it into. It's just going to come to the first one that it finds that matches, and it will report it in there. So that's one of the advantages of actually not just relying on pack names, but actually relying on the tagging system. Because now what that allows you to do, it allows any of your especially if you're using a shared template file across your organization, if I wanted to just rename a pack in here, maybe I for whatever reason in this job, I wanted to rename this pack as, house sheathing. Maybe there was going to be a separate garage, and I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that this is the house sheathing pack. That would, if I was relying strictly on the pack names, that would have broken the reporting system. However, if I was relying instead on the tag system, the wall sheathing report tag here, now I can rename any of these packs all day long, and I'm still going to get the expected reporting behavior since I'm leveraging the tags. Now, it's worth noting, unlike the ability where you can rename multiple packs the same name, we don't let you reuse tags across packs, and that's for obvious reasons, because we want it to be reporting to exactly where you want it, and no guesswork or no confusion over if two packs are tagged the same way, which one do we choose? So we can only choose one of them. So when we right click here on this house sheathing, you can see here I have the option for pack tags, and it's currently checked as wall sheathing. If I was to go to another pack, like say this upper wall, and look at my report tags, notice I don't have the wall sheathing option here because it's already in use by a different pack. So if you want to make use of that on a different pack, you would first need to go over here to house sheathing, and you need to uncheck that box to release it in essence, and then be able to use it somewhere else. So hopefully that makes sense there within the context of, how can you leverage these? So we talked about it when it goes back over to the profile, we talked about wall assemblies. A couple other ways that you can use these or leverage these pack tags as far as for the initial setup so that things are just more automated for you. One would be in the containers tab. If you are leveraging the containers tab so that as you add new lists, that packs are coming in for you, named the way that you like them, and the new list has multiple different pack types and organized the way you like them, and that's a whole nother feature. But you can leverage the report in pack over here as well, so that as you add new lists, it automatically does the right thing. So for example, if I wanted my upper wall to always be tagged as drainage, not sure I would want that, but if I did, then I can do that. And so now when this comes into the pack, when that list gets added, that tag will automatically be added to that specific upper wall pack. So that would be one place that you can go to your profile and set up these tags. So again, you're getting that consistent reporting that you would expect. So wall assemblies is one place, containers tab for those newly added lists. And then finally over here in the kits tab, this would be the other place. And this is perhaps for many of you out there, this is probably the biggest win as far as how you might want to use these. So for example, if I was here, maybe I've built a roof decking pack like I have here. And right now I have, with my roof decking, as a child item, I'm getting roofing underlayment. And maybe for my purposes, even though I'm going to call the roof decking in my roof framing pack, I really want this roofing underlayment to be pushed back over to the roofing pack. So I can come here and edit this, and down here at the bottom, I have pack report tags. I could set this into the roofing pack. Click OK. Okay, so now as I call this kit in my project, it's going to automatically have the tag assigned to this line item of roofing, and then it's going to go through that same process that we described earlier. First, it's going to look for any packs that are tagged with the roofing pack, with a roofing tag on it. And then if it finds none of those, then it's going to walk through the pack names. And if it finds any pack name that's called specifically or identically roofing, then it will choose to report that into that location. Now, the reason that, so hopefully that's clear as why you would want to make use of those pack report tags. But just to stretch that even further, let's take a look at, say, this one, the fascia closed soffit panel kit that we've created here. And so off of this one fascia measurement, the gutter side, the one that we've built here, you can see we have a lot of different stuff here, and it's going to a lot of different packs: exterior trim, roofing, insulation, drainage. So a bunch of different components that it's reasonable that we could get that material just off of that one measurement. But if I could only just report it into the same pack where I put the fascia, that might not be very useful. But the fact that I can then take those components and I can push them over into the different packs where they need to be able to be reported, now I can actually extend how far I can take my kits and how I build them out in my software. So those would be different ways that you can leverage. A couple of things here as we finish this up, that are worth noting. Let's come back over here to the project tab. If I'm over here in a pack, I can actually add a tag directly to a pack. So for example, I can come here and come to my pack tags, and I can add a pack report tag. So I'll just call this my special tag. Okay, so now it's been tagged that way. So here's my special tag. If you ever, I'm going to uncheck this box now. Now, if you ever have a tag that becomes truly obsolete, you're not using it in the profile anywhere on any of your kits or any of your wall assembly items, and you're not using it anywhere in the list, you can then remove that tag entirely. So if you just have obsolete tags and you just want to get them out of there, like that special tag that I just created, I can choose to delete unused pack report tags. And any of the ones that are truly not in use, both in the profile, in those 3 different tabs we discussed, as well as over here in the project tab, then those would actually be fully removed, and they won't be offered to you anymore. So like that special tag is now gone. Tags can be only assigned, as we talked about earlier, to a single pack, but it is possible to have multiple tags on the same pack. So if maybe you have a use case that you want exterior trim, and you want insulation for some reason to be reported into the same pack. Maybe it's like a whole house pack, but it's all that you're collecting all that stuff together. You could choose to have multiple tags reported into the same pack. So that's the review today about report tags. If you have more questions, we'll stay on here on the Q&A for a couple minutes longer. You can put some in there, but as always, if you're going to try to leverage some of those and you're still a little bit confused about how to make those work, feel free to reach out to us at the support line, either the chat service or email, support@prebuiltml.com. Happy to help you further. So thanks for hopping on today, and we'll be having another session next week. Looking forward to just sharing some more dimensions of the software with you.